Parents, what was the hardest sacrifice you had to make for your child's safety? It was the night I chose to become the villain in everyone else's story just to be the hero in my kids. My daughter, Emily, was 7 when the school counselor called me in. She had been drawing strange pictures, stick figures with angry scribbles, a big man towering over a small girl, words like "bad daddy" written in crooked letters. When I asked her about it, she whispered so quietly I almost didn't hear, "Daddy hurts me when you're not there." My blood froze. Her father, my ex-husband Mark, had joint custody. I had fought hard in court to keep her safe, but every time I brought up his temper, his drinking, the shouting, the slammed doors, the bruises Emily sometimes had, the judge called it lack of evidence. So every other weekend I handed her over, praying nothing would happen. But that day, looking at her drawings, I knew I couldn't just hope anymore. That Friday, when Mark came to pick her up, I told him Emily was sick. He didn't believe me, screamed in the driveway, threatened to call the police. I shut the door and held Emily in my arms while she cried. That night, I packed 2 bags, one for her, one for me. I withdrew every cent from my savings, $1,200, and by morning we were gone. No forwarding address, no phone calls to family, nothing. Just me and Emily, driving until the gas tank ran low, ending up in a crumbling one-room cabin rented weekly by cash. For 3 months, we lived in hiding. Emily slept curled up beside me on a squeaky mattress, clutching her stuffed rabbit. I homeschooled her with library books, cooked ramen noodles on a hot plate, and told her it was an adventure. She smiled more in those weeks than I'd seen in years. No nightmares, no flinching at sudden noises. She even started singing again, soft little songs before bed. But the world doesn't let you disappear forever. Mark reported me for kidnapping. My face was on the local news. I was labeled an unfit mother, trying to alienate her child from her father. Police finally tracked us down through a receipt I used at a pharmacy. They kicked in the cabin door one morning, guns drawn. Emily screamed when they dragged me out in handcuffs. I'll never forget her sobbing, "Please don't take my mommy, please." The trial was brutal. Mark sat there in a suit acting like the victim. His lawyer painted me as unstable, manipulative, dangerous. But then I showed the judge Emily's drawings, the ones the counselor had saved. Picture after picture of fear, of her begging for safety in crayon and pencil. And when Emily testified, her tiny voice breaking as she said, "Daddy hurts me, but mommy keeps me safe," the courtroom went silent. Mark lost custody that day. Emily was placed with my sister while I served a 6-month sentence for custodial interference. 6 months of cold nights in a jail cell, praying I hadn't made everything worse. But when I walked out, Emily was there waiting, running into my arms with tears in her eyes. "I knew you'd come back, Mommy," she whispered. Today, Mark faces charges for abuse. Emily is healing, slowly, surrounded by people who love her. I'm branded a criminal in the eyes of some, but I'd do it again 1,000 times. Because sometimes protecting your child means becoming the villain in everyone else's story, just so you can stay the hero in theirs.